Each new blessing I receive, it keeps bringing me joy.
Welcome back to TradeDelicious Live. It's morning briefing. It's 8:30 a.m. Let's get into a little bit of morning briefing. This is a show where both John and I, we're going to debate different positions. We're going to talk about some of the fundamentals, and we're going to get you up to scratch with everything that you need to know. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's just gone 8:30 a.m. British Standard Time. I hope you are having a great morning. I hope you're waking up with a bit of energy today. It is Friday. Come on, let's end the week. We've got a new government in Britain. You know, we're moving into a new government in France, and who knows, we're gonna have a new government in the US. So everyone get excited. It's new. 2024 is the year to be something new. How you doing, John? Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Thank you. I'm doing really good. Obviously, a little bit of a snooze fest in the end. At the end of the day, stayed up, watched the exit poll, and then decided, nah, I'm going to bed. You know, this is it. Did a tweet, and then thought, you know what, I'm out. We saw and it's, you know, I'll hold my hand up on this one. I thought we'd get like a big reaction from this. This is something that hasn't happened in 14 years. So I thought maybe we would see some decent reaction, but we didn't get anything at all. So yeah, just you know, normal morning for me. Decided to go to the gym early doors. Very lackluster gym performance today, I must admit. I was very
John, I'm bringing some energy in. What's going on here?
I know. I don't know what happened to me today. I just very but you know, it's Friday. I got to get it back up. Got to get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm excited to hear what you've been up to as well. So yeah, how you been?
Yeah, no, I've been well. I hope everyone in chat's been well as well. I could see Daniel and Andrew already starting their Friday morning conversation. You guys don't even need us. Let's just create this stream so you guys can have a chat in there. Musclade's popped in here bright and early as well with the quote of the day. We'll address that a little bit later. But yeah, I told John just before we went live that today I've done one of the manliest things I've ever done. All right, I was the definition of a bloke today. I went
definition of a bloke. I like this.
Yeah. So Friday midday, you know, the weather's looking pretty good. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my hair cut. I haven't got my hair cut in a little while. I don't know if you can tell, I haven't had my hair cut, right? So I haven't had my hair cut, but I was determined.
Yeah, your hair's long, right?
Yeah. But I've got the undercut.
Okay.
So I was like, right, I'm gonna go get my hair cut. Evidently, I haven't done that. I did do the drive to the shopping center. I did go there. It was packed, right? And I'm not a patient person, right? You know, if there's a line waiting for it, forget it. I'll go do it at home. Yeah. That's like I don't need it. I saw that, so I was like, right, I'll go get some food instead. Make this trip worth it. The 15-minute drive that I went on, I was like, let's make it worth it. I come home with a 65-inch Samsung TV and soundbar system.
That is really manly. That is the typical. I'm gonna go out and get something, and I've ended up with a 65-inch Samsung TV.
Yeah, I went to go get a haircut. Come home with a brand new 65-inch Samsung TV and sound system.
That's an expensive haircut.
It's an I didn't even get a haircut. Exactly. Everyone wish me luck when my partner gets home from work. That's going to be fun.
Okay. So, this is really you could be in the doghouse for the weekend. I like this.
But
you're going to come back Monday morning. You're going to be looking you're going to be like, let's take it back.
Yeah, guys. No, we got sport all weekend. I've got the new screen. I'm going to be happy. I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can just block out my right ear. We'll be fine. But no. I've been looking at one for a little while. Ended up getting a nice cheeky deal. That I just couldn't miss. I was like, yeah, done. So I chucked it in the back of the
Well,
car and I
that's the thing.
brought it home.
Yeah, when you get value for money, though, you got to take the chance, haven't you? You got to take the chance
That's
when you see a
that's
deal.
yeah. Now we're
Gotta get in on it,
talking.
you know.
Yeah,
Got to
it's
get
trading all
involved.
over
Yeah,
again. You got to back yourself. You got to back your decision making. If that's a deal and you think it's valued, back yourself. Get in there. That's what I'm
you're
telling you.
just
So everyone, go
yeah.
out, buy a TV. Uh, Louis coming in saying, Jordan, buy her a present. She's just got a brand new 65-inch TV. We're gonna buy a
Hey,
present.
that's for you. You know what
Yeah,
you'll be doing? You know what you'll be doing? This will be the manly thing of it. You'll be watching the sports on your phone while she watches something on the TV.
nah, not sports. Not sports. Nah,
Really?
yeah, that's my TV.
Okay.
That's a TV. To be fair, my partner doesn't mind sport. My partner doesn't
Hmm.
mind sport, and she knows I'm a big fan of sport, so she's willing to put up with it.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, I can get
I've
that
had
across the
to.
board.
Yeah, no, a lot of the times when the Villa are playing, I've got the Villa on my little phone. Got a lovely big TV on the wall, but I've got the Villa on my phone, and Ellie's watching like the Kardashians or something.
Now, daylight, you got one eye down, one eye up.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
know you like the
I
drama.
love the gossip. I love the gossip. I love the drama. You know what I mean? So yeah, when I see something kicking off, I'm like, well, what's going on here then? What's going on?
Yeah, because nothing ever kicks off in the Villa games. They're flat.
Well, yeah, not anymore,
Whoa,
not anymore. We're
whoa, whoa,
decent.
whoa. All right.
Whoa. We're decent. We're decent now.
Anyway, let's dive let's get in. Should we start with the quote of the day? Should we start with the quote of the day
Yes,
today
let's
on
do
morning
it.
briefing? If you guys didn't notice, for you guys that are vigilant on the Trade Delicious channel, you'll see 2 streams for next week have already been there, ready to click the notify me button. It's a stream of morning briefing and a stream of the London live trading floor. You'll notice they're 2 different streams. The way we're going to be producing our content is a little bit separate, so we can do the SEO fun stuff. And for you guys that only want to be here for one certain show, you get to be here for one certain show. You get more of what you want and how you want it. So that's one change we're going to do. However, if you like going right the way through and sticking with us for 3 to 4 hours and watching our content, good news is you still can. You just join us at morning briefing and we'll automatically redirect you every time new content pops up. You don't have to click anything. You don't have to do anything. You won't even get an ad. You'll just be sent over to the next stream and you can run away with that. So good news for everyone. Bad news is it won't be in one spot, but it will at the same time. So it's kind of a sideways move. So just so everyone's aware, if the stream ends on Monday after morning briefing, don't panic. It's supposed to happen. We're just going to send you over to the next one. So a couple of changes coming up here in Trade Delicious. I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. Let's start with the quote of the day. I see a few of you guys already having a chat, so I like it. Billionaire Boys Club TV. As long as I don't reach the 2371 before it has a very high probs of going up. I don't know what you're on about, Daniel, but right, sorry. Billionaire Boys Club TV is someone in our chat. He's replying to a message. I thought he was referencing our TV. I really did. I misread. My apologies. I made it about myself. I'll put my hand
You're
up.
still
That's fair.
thinking about the TV, guys? Look at him.
I've got a new TV. I'm excited. I need a
It's by
my bad.
Samsung stock.
Yeah. Let's jump in it. Quote of the day coming out of Ralph Waldo Emerson.
That sounds like someone who's very, very important.
Does
Listen, I'm gonna
Ralph
say
Waldo? I'm gonna go like
that has to be a politician.
Oh no, I'm thinking more of like Emerson's throwing me off, right?
Yeah.
Because Thomas Edison is very similar,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And it's got me thinking
Yeah.
along the lines of like inventions and kind of science.
I'm gonna
Ralph,
throw it out there though. There is a Emerson that just plays football, so
there is an Emerson that plays football. Could be a
could just be
footballer.
could be a sportsman.
All right, what are you going with?
I'm gonna go with politician. I feel like politician. It's on theme at the minute.
He is a American essayist.
Okay. What was the word yesterday? I can't remember what the word was yesterday.
It was, yeah, what was it?
But it was wide knowledge. Yeah, I take it back. I rescind it. I don't have wide
Yeah,
knowledge.
an essayist. a lecturer, an essayist. So he wrote essays. Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A poet, philosopher. I'm not even going to try. A lecturer, an essayist, a philosopher, and a poet.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. This is the quote of the day. Thank you, Musclay, for chucking in our quote of the day. It's what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us.
That one is very far from trading, I would say.
That's your job.
From
Your job's to
I
relate
can't,
it, John.
I just, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to relate that. Can you read it again, please? Let me get another one. Let me get another thought on it.
What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. I feel
Our
like
inner
that's very like,
Musclay's drawn it, and he said
okay,
our inner strength and capabilities are far more important than our past or future.
okay, okay. I'm, I get that. I get that. I'm a big believer of using pasta. I'm a big believer of using data,
Well,
using, you
yeah, but
know,
you're an analyst. I'd be
exactly.
surprised if you
So
weren't.
yeah, past performance for me. I was gonna go into that
You're gonna
past
say,
performance, not
is a reliable
indicative.
indicator
Yeah,
of future performance? Yeah, you're gonna hit us with
yeah,
the +1 = 0 disclaimer.
yeah. But no, I just think yeah, for me, past performance. I use the past a lot. So on a Sunday, I'll review my trading week. I'll go and look at my performance. How has my performance been? What do I feel about the emotions that I had during those trades? Was the technical play out, was it what I expected? X, Y, and Z. Did I do something that I shouldn't have done? If I did, how do I correct it? So for me, I use the past a hell of a lot. So I kind of, yeah, I get it, and I get that you've got to believe in yourself as well. There's a lot of that you need in this industry because it can be an industry that beats you down a lot. It can be an industry that you lose a hell of a lot, not just monetary wise, but emotionally. This is a mentally taxing game. So you've got to almost try and you have to believe in yourself. Basically, that was what one mentor taught me when I was going through my sort of trading career. It was almost like I was very good at getting into the market. I was very good at sort of holding a trade, but I was almost too good at holding a trade. Like I wouldn't let it go. Like, and half the time it would
See,
always come back on me.
that was yesterday.
Um, that was yesterday. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That was yesterday. And a lot of the times it would come back on me, and I would end up like just break even all the time. And he did it in a not so polite way, almost like
He drilled it.
basically drilled it, yeah, like
Yeah,
kicked my ass basically, and just said, you need to just believe in yourself because you can obviously do it. You're just not. You just need to tweak some things. You just got to believe in yourself. So I think there's an element of that. It can be hard because when you see your results and maybe it's not the results that you expect or you want, you feel like you're not doing the right things because there is no technical right or wrong in the industry. The only
yeah.
right or wrong is your kind of your results, I guess. That's what's giving you. No one's going to turn around to you and say, that is you're doing that right because anyone can like draw a trend line on a chart and there's 5 million ways of doing it. There's yeah,
Expectations are tough.
expectations and
Expectations
stuff.
are
Yeah,
real tough. Yeah, especially in trading. But yeah, I like it. We got there. We
I
got
kind
there.
of yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I like to go.
All
I like to build myself up
right. Before we
before getting
jump
to the
in,
point.
obviously, give us a rundown. You're over there on the ground in Britain. New government coming in. Obviously, muted reaction in pound priced in. I think everyone knew this was going to happen. It was pretty evident. The polls were suggesting that this is the way it was going to go. Did they end up like losing 248 seats or something like that? Like the
Something like yeah.
oof,
So yeah,
oof.
conservatives have lost a huge amount of seats. I think that what's quite interesting is so what I was kind of looking at was almost how Labour would win and how we would, or if we would see a reaction. And the
Yeah,
majority was it was pretty much on the cards from as soon as the exit poll came out. It was like that's going to be the majority. Well, obviously, we saw a little bit of a rise in sort of reform, far right. Would say far right. I wouldn't class them too far right, but they are definitely on the far right side of things. They actually won some seats. I think it was 13 in total. Can't off the top of my head. I don't know whether that changed or not. But yeah, there was a significant rise in that. But yeah, Conservatives have taken a real beating now, and I don't think they'll get back in power for a while unless something really drastically changes. I don't think Labour are necessarily going to change too much too soon because they don't want to shut the market like Liz Truss did
Yeah.
with the mini budget. So, that's might be where we see some volatility when things like the budget start coming out and things like that. We might start to see a little bit of volatility around those things. But I think attention now is just going to turn around to the Bank of England and how they kind of see things. Do they see a cut come in now, or are they going to hold rates higher for longer? Like we've discussed in the past, how a Labour market typically, or a Labour government typically works is they spend a lot of money. They spend a lot in the economy. So they've promised not to kind of raise income tax and VAT and things like that, corporation taxes. But it's almost like where are we going to get this money from? So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of develop things there because they're not going to want to have a Liz Truss moment. They want to survive the lettuce. Liz
Yeah.
Truss didn't. I don't know if you saw that when there was a lettuce outside of Parliament, and
Yeah.
she
Like
left
which,
before
yeah,
the
which
lettuce
goes
even
on
wilted.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not going to happen this time, I don't think. And I think obviously the market's more is obviously comfortable with this outcome. There's no change. I think probably a good place to kind of look is probably your FTSE 100, FTSE 250s.
Hmm.
If they're going to start pumping money into the economy then, or pumping money into small businesses and things like that, then they could perform pretty well. And we should start to see a little bit of upside in those. So maybe the FTSE will do pretty well out of this. The one thing that we've got to keep our eye on is the inflation pressures that could come
Yeah.
if we see a lot of government spending, a lot of influence to businesses to borrow more, X, Y, and Z, a lot of government grants, X, Y, and Z, then we could see a little bit of an influx of higher inflation pressures, but we're not going to see the effects of that for a while. We won't be able to tell that until probably 4 or 5 months down the line. So, yeah, I don't see anything drastically happening here now. It's almost like normal service. Like, look for those, look for the sort of opportunities within the market. Obviously, the it was expected, so there's not really.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
like I
no
said, it's a
shock.
bit of a snooze. Yeah, a bit of a snooze fest in the
Yeah.
end. I was expecting some kind of movement from it. But yeah, just yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Talking
anybody in
of,
the chat decided to stay up and watch it because that must have been really boring.
yeah, yeah, it was forecasted from what, 6 months out. They pretty much said, "Hey, your job's gone,"
Yeah.
and building closer and closer. You've just seen that's more evident. I did hear someone mention that this election is one of the worst turnouts they had of people voting. You mentioned that yesterday,
Oh yeah.
that you
Yeah.
were expecting most people to just either not turn up or a lot of no votes.
Yeah.
Apparently, that they're reporting is one of the worst turnouts they've had in an election, which is interesting. Very, very interesting.
That is
Um,
very interesting.
and speaking of shocks too, over in the US, there's changed course here a little bit. I put in a photo in our Discord this morning, the betting odds
Yeah.
on who's going to be president. Joe Biden is now third.
Yeah.
He's
Is it
not even
Kamala Harris?
second. Kamala Harris has taken second place at I think it's like $6. She's taken second place, but yeah, he's moved to third now, and he was priced in at like $2.10 or something, like when this was all starting to get up and about and the debates and stuff coming up. And after that debate, people reckon he's not even going to be in office.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen. There's a little clip of him going around at the moment, and Kamala Harris, and they're obviously celebrating Independence Day
Yeah.
yesterday. and she nearly introduces him as vice
Vice
president.
president. Yeah.
And you just think, God, it's a calamity all around, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And
I
then,
mean,
well, and then he said, ho, 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 like it was Christmas.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, it's 4th of July. What are we
yeah,
doing?
brilliant, brilliant,
It's
brilliant.
a
And then he,
sketch. It's a
have you
little
seen the one
Britain
where he's?
sketch.
It is. It does feel like it though, doesn't it? And that's the embarrassing thing. These are the most powerful people in the world, technically. Um, and that's what's going on. I mean, then he starts talking about when he's leaving about going on the highway and stuff, and he just starts going off on this random tangent about like traffic and stuff. Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah, I
easily
mean,
done. I've been there.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, after a few beers, it's one of those where you just kind of like, what is going on? It's politics is absolutely
Shambles.
a shambles at the
Yeah,
moment, and
across the globe, shambles.
yeah, and I just think maybe the market's just not taking it in at the moment. Maybe the market's just like, we're not going to focus on this stuff right now because it is a shambles. We're just going to focus on the data and we're trying to focus on what the central banks are doing instead, which technically is where you should be watching anyway, because the central banks are meant to be impartial. The central banks are meant to be the ones that are controlling monetary policy. So it shouldn't really be politically driven. So it just happens that these events do create some volatility. Well, they used to create
Yeah.
some volatility. Maybe the market's just trying to shrug these off now, thinking, we're going to try and price these things in early.
Yeah, well, I've seen crypto markets selling off heavily.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna start picking some up now. I'm gonna start
yeah,
grabbing and adding a little bit to that my portfolio. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, what worse time to buy cryptocurrency than when it's falling off a cliff? I
yeah.
disagree. I think that's the best time. But I mentioned over the past few weeks, the closer Donald Trump gets to getting in office, the more exposure I want to cryptocurrencies in my portfolio. And this flash crash that we're seeing at the moment is providing me a good opportunity to pick up at some lower prices. So I'm going to be looking at adding a bit of Bitcoin, probably a bit of Ethereum into my portfolio over the next few weeks. I'll ask Boris to get my entry points because he's our crypto trader. So I'll
Nice.
ask him at what levels I should be looking at. He knows the stuff better than I do, and see if I can get filled in that moving forward. But while we're talking about positions that I have open, Japanese yen, baby, Japanese yen. We spoke about it yesterday,
I'll
how
flick over to
close
it.
it was. I had a look. I'm looking at my stop loss on that position. Right, is I pulled up the wrong platform, hand. My stop loss is at 161.997.
Oh my God,
And
look, I've just put on the screen there. How weird is that?
yeah,
Literally got it to
that
the
is
point.
my exact stop loss on this position.
Wow.
And price on I was trading it through Pepperstone. Price on the Pepperstone chart got to a high of 161,950. So I was close. I was real close.
Very
Yeah,
close.
little bit of an increase in spread, and I was done for. And showing a little bit of strength over the past few days.
Yeah, we've seen those Japanese bonds come off those highs as well, which is something that we discussed earlier in the week. Are we going to see a breach above that and a huge move to the upside? We'll probably see the yen continue to weaken off. But yeah, looks like a little welcome relief to the dollar yen market, which was going to come at some point. It was going to come at some point. It was just almost like we were expecting it maybe in the form of an intervention rather than a form of just like general price action by the looks of things.
Yeah,
So it's not really, yeah, it's nothing to do with the Bank of Japan. It's just obviously, although we did see a little bit of volatility, I can see on when was that? Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? On Wednesday, we had that big sort of drop in the market here. So we did get some kind of volatility on Wednesday. But nothing to do with the Bank of Japan there. Just seeing a little bit of continuation to the downside. That was more probably actually that ADP non-farm and ISM
yeah.
services PMI out of the US. So
Yeah, we're seeing
yeah,
US dollar weakness across the board. Even the euro picking up some strength, which is interesting to see.
Yeah. I think it's just this is market's just being driven by the dollar this week. It's almost like ignored all the political risk, and now it's just going on. It's just going for the dollar at the moment. Dollar's having a real bad time, and the NFP today could really start to sort of compound that weakness if it does start to come in a little bit lower. We've got the average hourly earnings forecast at 0.3%. We've got non-farm employment change 191. Anything above 200, I've always considered pretty good. Pretty
Hmm.
good growth. Um, Obviously we missed last time. 272 was the miss last time. So I'll be interested to see if there's any revised lower numbers there and see if there was any kind of drops below 200k this time. Because if we see a drop in average hourly earnings, drop in the non-farm employment change, an increase in the unemployment rate, the three there usually red would mean a bad day again for the US dollar. So um, yeah, just got to be a little bit cautious with the NFP trade today, I think. But yeah, I think our focus needs to maybe shift away from politics now back to normal, normal macro
Normal.
stuff. Yeah, well, normal sort of data releases, scheduled data releases.
Yeah, yeah, I
uh,
agree. I agree. Although it is obviously round two of French elections on Sunday.
mhm.
So Monday morning, you'll get our fresh take and reaction to what the euro is going to. Once again, I did this last Friday. And I preached and preached and preached not to hold positions over the weekend because it's
Yep.
likely the markets will gap. We came in on Monday and I had an abundance of messages, and I saw the firm as well got abundance of messages of people complaining that the market gapped past their stop. So I'm going to try
Yeah.
this again. There's a very good chance the market will gap. All right.
Yeah.
Euro, there's a good chance. Can't say it will happen. Just saying there's a pretty good chance that the euro is going to gap when we open up on Monday. Please take that into account. Please take that
Yeah.
into account. That's all I'm going to put. That's my warning. All right. This weekend is likely that euro will gap. I'm not saying 4,000 pips like we saw when the Swiss was depegged, right? But I'm talking, it might do a 30, 40 pip gap, right? Like it did last week. Just be prepared for that. That's my warning. There's my preach for the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There is still risk there. There is still risk. I've been looking at some of the French polls and stuff, and again, you can't really take too many polls into consideration. They are not too accurate, apart from the exit poll in the UK. Seems to be the only sort of poll that seems to be fairly accurate. Um, but yeah, I would be very sort of cautious going over the weekend. I mean, holding trades over the weekend holds a gamble anyway, because there
Yeah.
could be any type of headline that comes out that could really kind of push prices around, especially in terms of what we're seeing in the environment at the moment with sort of war and stuff like that. Any kind of big headline risks are gonna really play into those types of things. So holding trades over a weekend anyway is probably not recommended, and especially if you're holding euro this weekend, yeah, I wouldn't want to be holding that at all. But we'll see. The polls are suggesting that it's not going to be a majority for Le Pen, so there is a potential there that the market may feel comforted by that again, and we'll probably, if that's the case and she doesn't get the majority, then the euro might be a bit more stable and the market might feel okay with that, and we might not see that big reaction. If we do get the majority for Le Pen, then yeah, I think the euro is going to have a really bad time. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that kind of plays out. That's on Sunday, so we'll see. Obviously, that will be covered very largely in the headlines. And then you've obviously got the sort of um, yeah, so the build up on over in the US as well, which is just crazy. But yeah, euro dollar, I wouldn't be holding over the weekend at all.
Yeah, and I mean, we filled the gap, didn't we, early this week?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's on. I think it was actually Tuesday that we
yeah,
filled the gap. But I like playing. I like playing fill the gap plays in FX. We don't gap very often, so I like trying to find a way to fill those gaps. I used to like doing it when I traded equities for a short time.
yeah.
When I wanted to put myself through hell. So that was fun. But yeah, look, I think it's likely to have a little bit of volatility in closed market conditions. So when we do open up, it's going to be priced a little bit differently. I'm I'm a little bit nervous about holding on to my US dollar Japanese yen position into NFP this afternoon. Being
Yeah.
so close to that, I think I might offload a lot of that risk. 30% of that drawdown is the swap, which is really interesting. So it's about
I'm not
30%
surprised.
cost right now is just swap fees, which was the downside. I was hoping that intervention was going to come within a few days. Like, come on, let's pick up the pace, Bank of Japan. But nevertheless, is there anything you wanted to leave anyone with ahead of this weekend and into early next week?
No, obviously the one thing that's kind of bear fruit very well this week is that Australian dollar strength that we've been talking about for a while. We had some great trades on that this week. For me personally, I was Euro Oz short, pound Oz short, Aussie Swiss long. So I went very heavy Aussie this week, and it paid out really well for me. So yeah, I'm just going to keep focusing on the currency strength weaknesses. Try and identify those little macro plays that can kind of give me an idea of what currencies are going to be strong and what currencies are going to be weak. But yeah, I still feel like if you are a trader that's looking for some kind of edge in the market, then definitely try and figure out that currency strength weakness play. We've been talking a lot about there's going to be some potential Swiss franc weakness continuing as well. So that's something I'm going to be looking at going into next week. Whether that does change again, the Swiss franc might be the safe haven for the European elections. So, but we'll see how it plays out on Monday. Monday is going to be a day where we can just kind of see how everything's gone over the weekend and then make a decision. The beauty about this is although you can see moves and you might start to get FOMO, you're the one clicking the button at the end of the day. You don't have to rush into anything at all. So, just take your
Yeah,
time.
don't buy a TV. Don't
Yeah,
buy a
don't buy,
TV.
don't do Jordan an impulse buy.
All
You
right,
just got the
guys.
TV, you've got the soundbar.
Yeah, I know. Actually, the soundbar made the whole package cheaper. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay, okay.
This was my. I literally traded. Let me explain it. Right, I'm going to join Rich. Actually, are you going to join us, John?
Yeah, I'll join you for a little bit if that's all right. Yeah, I don't
All
mind.
right, cool. All right, we're both going to join Rich for the London live trading floor. So, guys, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and I'll tell you the story about how I got the best deal in the world on this TV.
Show why TradeDelicious is the place to be.
Bring it up. I'll bring it to you about it. You make so much money you're now retired.
One, I'm not sure if these is or
There's something off this kind of stuff.
Right.
Great segue there, Alan. Yeah.
Back to the news. All news by the end of the year.
The thing is, that's
Start using a break in retail.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Good morning. What a treat. Double teamed by the Double J on a Friday. Wow. Fantastic. How are we doing, guys?
I'm well.
Yeah, I'm
wow.
doing good. I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to actually be on another stream with you, Rich.
Mate, it's been too long. It's been too long.
It has.
Jordan, hit us with this. What is this talk of a new telly or a big
telly?
surround system? What's going on?
A telly.
Okay.
First and foremost, I've only now realized we all wear glasses. All three of us are sitting here wearing them, right? I've only just picked up on that. But
Right, I'll try.
yeah. So
Blonde.
I went to go get a haircut today, Rich. I didn't
Okay.
get a haircut, but I came home with a 65-inch new TV and sound system.
That makes sense.
So-
That's logical. That's man thinking. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is what I've been saying, right? But I got a great deal. So I walked in. I've been looking for a new TV. I walked in. It was a great advertised price. I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. I had a budget in my mind of a TV and sound system, what I wanted to spend, right?
Okay.
And then I walked into the store and they had, hey, if you buy a TV and a sound system of the same brand, we'll take 22% off of the overall price. So I was like,
Okay.
all right, now we're talking. Now, the problem is I don't want a Samsung surround system. I wanted the Bose because Bose speakers are just so much better. So I said, like, I don't want that. So the guy, we sat there, we had a bit of a chat, and then he done me a solid. And he said, tell you what, I'm going to throw in this Samsung sound system, which was not very expensive, which actually brought the price of the TV down $20. So it wasn't even a 20% increase on the price of the TV. So it ended up costing me less money than if I just bought the TV. and I got this sound system with it. And then he told me, don't open the sound system, bring it back in 2 weeks and say you want to swap it for a Bose one. And because it's worth that amount of money, they'll take that amount of money off of the Bose one.
What a legend. What a
I
legend.
mean, this just sounds like you're prepping to tell your partner all of this. That just sounds like you've got the
this is
speech
warm-up.
ready.
This is warm-up.
This is the thing he's going to say later. When you told me off stream that you did something really, really manly, I thought he's been like, he's probably done some like spearfishing or something, in Australia. He's probably gone hunting sharks or something, or in a cage or something. Bought a TV. Love it.
Can I apologies if I didn't catch it. Can we elaborate on the size?
65 inch.
65. Okay, that's big.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a
big
super.
TV. Yeah, a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. To be honest, I put it on the TV unit and I've gone, oh boy. I've gone, oh boy. Okay, this is bigger than I thought it was.
You see these 65s in the shops and you think, that's not too bad. And you get it home and you go, it's the size of my living room. I need a bigger stand. I mean, you can easily pay about $800 for a, I'm talking Australian dollars here, about $800 for a TV stand to house a TV of that size, like the weight of those things as well. Good luck if you're brave enough to try and wall mount it. I've just got it sitting on the TV. I bought a new TV. We just moved the other side of the world, the other side of the country. So I was buying new furniture left, right, and center, and I thought, you know what, a new TV sounds like a good idea. I decided that today. Wow. I remember in the UK, the 65s in the Black Friday sale were like the thing, 2-3 years ago. It was like, wow, look at the size of these 65s. And now it's 75s and 80-inch TVs. It's ridiculous. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
They're too
houses
big.
Cannot accommodate. They're
too big. I was looking at one. It was like 100-inch. It was a 100-inch screen. And I was just like, this is a cinema. I'm like I'm going to need to put my couch the other side of my house in order to not get motion sick when I'm watching something. But so
in the UK, just to put into perspective, if you want an 80-inch TV, a branded big high quality 80-inch TV, you can be talking about 12,000 Australian dollars. That's what you can pay. It's like, who wants to spend 12,000? I mean, don't get me wrong, they look lovely, but so do the tellies for like $1,000.
Yeah. I agree. Don't worry, I didn't spend $12,000 on a TV.
Good. Okay. Don't worry. Good.
I'm sitting here trying to scab 20% off by getting a free. I'm doing some shifties. I'm not the type of bloke to go buy a brand new TV.
Okay. Look, I want to touch on this before I forget quickly. You said cryptos have fallen through the floor. I have a crypto bag. I daren't look at it. I've updated my phone. I can't get access to my crypto wallet because I haven't exported all my passwords. How bad have cryptos fallen off? How bad?
Pretty bad.
Like I don't watch. I don't look at them. I probably don't want to look at them. Are we talking like 2%? Like
no, it's down 6% today, Rich. It's down 6% today. Rich.
Well, I don't have. Let me see if I can pull up the number of let's say actually to correct you a little bit there. It's down 7% today. It's going a little bit further. So over the past 4 days, so throughout this week from Tuesday, we're currently trading about 15% down on Bitcoin.
Yeah, 25%
there goes
off
the retirement
that formed. Yeah.
There goes the retirement.
Sorry. Well, you were talking about getting diversified, and I was trading with this prop firm, and I was getting paid out in Bitcoin. And I was like, "This is good. We're rallying. Let me leave it in the crypto market." And I was building quite a nice little pot. Every payout was going into this crypto wallet, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was thinking, "This is smart." And I never withdrew, and that was me being super, super, super smart and diversifying my income away from trading. So, yeah, probably going to pull that out when I get access to it, and I think I'll never talk about the crypto market again.
Funny enough,
as well with the altcoins.
I'm looking to buy this if that helps you.
I don't know if that helps me. Can we elaborate? Why do we want to buy falling knives? Talk me through this process.
Cheaper prices. Falling knives are cheaper prices.
So we're talking investing, not not
Yeah.
day trading, not
Correct.
leveraging, not hold. Okay.
I think that's how you've got to look at the cryptos at the moment, isn't it? You've got to look at it in terms of investing. I think, if we do start to see that sort of Donald Trump coming into power, I think the cryptos probably go for the roof a little bit because he's been
Which,
very
yeah,
endorsing on the of the crypto market recently. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of an uptick from that. I used to look at the analytics really well of crypto markets. I can't remember what I used to look at, but they used to do these kind of charts where you could see where the miners dumped their supply of Bitcoin. So I was going to look to see if the miners had done that recently, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
yeah. To be honest, I thought we would see a bit of a rally in crypto with obviously the demise of the Democratic Party at the moment, and Trump looking more and more likely to get office. I thought that would increase buying pressure, but to see it just drop off a cliff, as I said, I still think he's going to be long term. I still think he's going to be bullish on crypto, and I think that'll be a nice, warm welcoming. So if we can drop 15-20% in a week and give me a 20% discount like I've just gotten, I'm happy to impulse buy it.
Yeah,
Whitford saying buying Bitcoin at 45,000. Do we think we'll drop as low as 45,000?
What are we
Has
at
anyone
now?
got a chart
53?
and a visual? I haven't got cryptos on my screen. I'm not able to pull it up on this terminal. Has anyone got a visual on it? I'd love to see kind of where
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
trading about 54K at the moment. That's US dollars. So yeah, we're trading around there. I've got an alert set around 52K because of this sort of small pause in the market before that large acceleration. There had been a large amount of buying coming in at this point for whatever reason. Bitcoin's a weird market to kind of look at, isn't it? It's just pure supply and demand. There's no because there is like, what is it? There is that people still don't understand it. People hold Bitcoin and absolutely have no idea what Bitcoin is, which is the scary thing. So it's
Forex traders do that.
yeah, forex trade. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm one of them.
But it's one of those things where, yeah, I think obviously we had strong buying coming in here. Are those people that were buying here before, they're going to defend this 52K? I think the 45 looks quite good because it's almost this area down through here where we had again, where the
Yeah,
sort of
45 is a good
real
shout.
strong rally came from. So that sort of 40K area looks pretty decent as well. But yeah, I quite like 52s. I wouldn't mind having a little stab at it at 52. But I would probably be trying to just CFD trade this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd be
See,
looking
no,
for a bit of
I'd be looking more to hold it probably in an independent wallet. So if I could average like my positions between the 52s and 45s, scale into kind of as I said, that realistically that's 7, maybe 8% of my portfolio I'm willing
Yeah.
to offer up to crypto. So if I can build that between the prices of 54 and 45, I'm pretty happy. That 45 level I actually really like. Who was it that mentioned that? I think it was Whitfog. He liked it around that 45, and I do like it around that area, to be honest.
Yeah, when was the halving? I think the halving was around here, wasn't it? Around in January.
Um,
Was it What was that? January?
no, it wasn't that far. Oh, actually.
Was it April? When was the halving? Because usually after the halving, we get like a bearish cycle for about a year before we see huge upside. Um, Let me just see if I've got any information when that was. When the halving was. Okay, so April 19th was the last halving that we had, which is around this area here. And I think a lot of people would have tried to buy off the back of that. So it kind of makes sense that it's gone
And
south.
buy into it. Well, you can see people bought into it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm assuming that the halving came. We're getting that sort of cycle where the market kind of moves a bit bearish, bit sideways, and then we'll probably see a little bit of a jump. It's usually around a year on from the halving cycle.
Well, John, how invested are you in Bitcoin? Are you buying into it as much as sort of Jordan with that conviction? I'm going to hang on until it just kind of starts to rally. Or you referenced having a little stab. What does having a little stab mean from a technical point?
No, I don't anymore. I used to have quite a large sort of, yeah, I used to have quite a large pot in there. Basically, what I did was I started buying Bitcoin when it was about $500 back in like 19, I think it was.
Okay.
I heard of Bitcoin at the time. There was this buzz around Bitcoin could be the new gold and stuff. And then the guy that the gym I was training with was like, oh, I used to be a DJ, and basically they used to pay you in Bitcoin if you were a DJ for downloading their songs from the website. So he just bought in a load of Bitcoin basically just from downloading songs from this website. So he was talking to me about it, and at the time I had no clue really what it was. So I went and did some research. They were talking about it was going to be the sort of digital gold or whatever. And at the time, one Bitcoin was 500 quid. So I bought into that a couple of times, but I didn't expect it to really reach the heights that it has reached. Because
Anyone
when you kind
expected
of
that.
yeah, no one expected it, I guess. So I kind of averaged out of it as it was going up because I was like, oh my God, this is like free money. Look, like, this is nice. So I just kind of started to take out of it. And then obviously the crypto then boomed, it like boomed. So I was doing a lot of research into it, and it's hard for me to find real value in it. I find it difficult to find real value in it, obviously because the standard used to be gold, and gold is physical, and you can see it, you can mine it out of the ground, it's there. We have a standard to it. Then obviously, I mean, you can argue the fact that central banks
Gold
just
useless.
print money, just yeah, print money these days, so it doesn't really. What value does that have as well? But obviously, because it's been the currency that has been used for so long, I mean, it just so when I kind of looked at it, and the one story that kind of comes at and like hits me in the face all the time is the pizza story where he traded
Mm.
Bitcoin for
Yeah.
the pizza, and then if he had held that, it would have been like he would have had like a couple of $1 million or something. And I just don't see where's the value in it, because it was meant to be the way that we used it as actual capital to pay with things and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But if I pay for a coffee 2 days ago or last week, then look at the value of that now. You'd be thinking I've really overpaid for that coffee that I've had because the value of Bitcoin's just fallen through the floor. So that doesn't necessarily work like that. At least when you've got a pound, you've got a pound, right? I know they've got the sort of cryptos that are like one-to-one, like Tether and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there is stuff out there that is trying to replicate money, I guess. But even they've had some problems. And then yeah, I could go on. I could go on hours
Yeah.
about this because I did a seminar back in the day, and I had some really funny reactions because I was talking about trading the price of Bitcoin and whatnot. And yeah, I got shouted at quite a lot from the crowd. But
Funny you mentioned that because I've spent a lot of time with Boris, who's our crypto trader, who's obviously a massive advocate for crypto, and
yeah.
I'm not. All right, I see value exposing myself because I see a play where we can increase demand, and this is the first time I've seen a play, and I can, I think that it's our problem, right? It's a problem for you and I because we're very similar with this. We want a kind of a macro push. Being macro traders, we want a reason to believe that this analysis will play out fundamentally, not just because it broke a trend line and it'll go up. Like we want a bit of oomph on why this is actually going to happen and why we're going to see a change in value. And when you're looking at the cryptocurrency, you get told, hey, it's a decentralized currency. People are going to move away from the dollar and use it, as you mentioned. I'm like, I don't know about you, but I don't want my bank account to change value 15% like that. Like that's not stable. That is not stable. Like that can't be what I want. I would rather be in a centralized environment where sure they tax and they track it, but at least my value is my value and it's holding within. All right, inflation and stuff changes it, but we're talking 2-3% over the year. Subpar the recent movements, 7% maybe over a year. Whereas having 15% in a week, I couldn't justify it. So that's always the argument I've had of why. Like I spoke to so many people like, oh, you got to buy Bitcoin at these prices, and I go, why? And they say, because it's going up. Yeah, but why? He goes, oh, because everyone's buying it. Why? Because it's going up. Like, what do you
Mhm.
what, so everyone's just buying it because it's going up, and I need to buy it because it's going up because everyone's just buying it because it's going up, and everyone's going, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I can't, I'm a portfolio manager. I can't possibly justify that as my reason for buying a share or buying an asset, or imagine you have a docket that you send to your boss every time you buy 100,000 shares. And you sent that docket to your boss saying, "Hey, I'm buying 2 million Bitcoin. Why?
Because it's going up.
Because it's going up." I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
whole
I'm
debate
buying it
about
because everyone else is.
decentralized and that, is
You
crazy.
what? What'd you say, Rich?
So
So
yeah, I'm buying it because everyone else is. Everyone's running
Yeah,
that way, so I'm just running that way. But surely that's what moves price. If we get a demand for something and everyone's running that way, then maybe that's where the price goes.
yeah, but
I've
there's
got
no
a funny
edge.
story on crypto. Let me share this. This is a typical I think experience on crypto. So I have a friend. My friend put 200 euros into a crypto, and he forgot about it. He put it in there for about a year, and it was like, I guess, an altcoin. And one day he was listening to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk mentioned the name of the crypto that he was holding. And he thought, I've got some of that. Let me go and check it. He went and checked it, and his 200 euros had turned into 20,000 euros. And so he thought, wow, I've got 20,000 euros. This is a normal guy, works a normal job on a normal salary and a normal wage. So he took his 20,000 euros, and he decides to find another altcoin. And he says, "This I've done some research on this, and I think this is good. I'm not going to say what the ticker is." Anyway, he put the whole 20,000 into that. And he woke up a week later and he had 25,000. He pulled out 5,000 from that and he put 5,000 in another altcoin. Well, he decided to tell me about it about 3 months afterwards when he was up over 600,000 euros. And he decided to
wow.
tell me about it. And he's like, this thing is going up. I said, why? He said, because everyone's buying it. I said, why? And he said, because it's going up. And I said, okay. I said, so do you think it's a good thing to buy? He says, yes, because it's going up. So I decided to buy it.
That's gambler's
And
fallacy.
it was going up. I needed to buy it because it was going up, and everyone else was buying it. And I'm early. It's been going up for 3 months. I need to buy it right now. So needless to say, it absolutely tanked. And I think I was the exit liquidity for a lot of other people who got in. He managed to get out, I believe, with still six figures. So his 200 euros turned into over 100,000 euros. So congratulations to him. I asked him how he was doing a couple of months later when my portfolio was down 80%. He said, I learned a very expensive lesson. I asked him where his exit price was. He said, 1,000,000 euros. I said, why? He said, just because it's 1,000,000 euros. And I said, is there a technical reason? He said, there's no technical reasons. Price is up hundreds, if not thousands of percent. He said, there's no reason for me to get out 1,000,000, but I just want 1,000,000. So my portfolio dropped 80%. And I said, okay, I'm sick of this. I hate crypto. I'm never getting involved in crypto. But what I will do is I'll have one last go at this. I'd put in thousands, bearing in mind. I'm going to have one last go at this, and I'm going to put my money into the safe haven of all cryptos, the crypto that we know as Bitcoin. So I put in the last little bit of money that I could stomach losing, and again, it was a few thousand, and I put it into Bitcoin. What on earth could go wrong? And I managed to be with the lucky one who bought Bitcoin at 20,000. Fantastic! Finally, my money's in the safe haven of all cryptos. Bitcoin dropped to 17,000, and I just couldn't stomach being in these cryptos any longer. So I bailed out at 17,000, and I have vowed to never talk about crypto again until I had the opportunity to put a few prop firm payouts into crypto. And then lo and behold, they've just tanked as well. So happy birthday, Rich. Never touch crypto. It's just doomed to not pay out for me. So if I don't touch it, Jordan, you're guaranteed to make money. If I do touch it,
All
then
right,
I'm
don't
going to
touch it.
apologize.
Don't touch it. But no, I like the story as well. Gambler's fallacy. This is why I always go back and have that back and forth debate of, is trading gambling? Because it's very easy to get stuck in that gambling mentality, which people don't realize they're in until they're in, and it's dangerous. It's real dangerous, like addicting and life-crushing dangerous. And that's why I like to shine a light on it every now and then, because what he's done there, turned it in, diversify, it sounds like a great idea. It really does. But he's putting everything in, all in, and going again with no idea of risk, no idea of where to get out, anything like that. There's no plan. He was just gambling. And that's why I always go back. Anyway, let's get to the chart, shall we? We jumped over, we skipped your top-down analysis. I'm looking forward to it. We get it every day. Rich, run us through. What are we talking about?
Let's have a look. So on the screen at the moment, we see GBP USD. We'll pull this up 1 second. Give me a sec just to get my charts organized. This is what we were looking at yesterday. We have this beautiful high marked up of the session. We have the low. We got this box because we've broken out. And I was saying that looking for the market to come back, retrace halfway into these kind of candles. And we do find a nice little bit of buying volume in here. Market rallies up, comes back, tags the break even. Remember, we talk about this again and again and again. And the market finally delivers to the upside. And we're seeing nothing but USD weakness pretty much as the market makes higher highs and higher lows. Now, I did trade this yesterday, and I'm trying to think where I placed a position. Oh, okay. So in typical fashion, there's me with a beautiful analysis about why I should buy, and there's me just selling, like as I do. So I ended up selling this high. I was watching this overextension, sold this high, got out round about here. We've seen me speak about this a few times on the stream, where the market can break out of this Asian high and come back and retest. Obviously, we've dropped a little bit deeper in. I've spoken about cross-currency correlations. If we look at Euro USD, look at this for a beautiful break and a retest. This is multiple times this week we've seen this behavior pattern. So the market has this high from the Asia session, has the low, breaks, come back, and we're going to see the same kind of thing. Is it coincidence? A little bit of back testing will tell you. We come out, we break this high, we retest, we look to rally, we come back, we tag the break even. All the early buyers trying to protect that entry probably got taken out, or also known as free liquidity for the bigger money. Market then finally delivers to the upside. Same again, lots of dollar strength as we make higher highs and higher lows. Now, I've been staring at this morning, trying to work out where is this going on the chart. So I'll start on the 4 hour on Euro USD. We got this a beautiful high over here, and I'm always looking at these highs and structured lows as price points where the market won't break through, typically in a straight line. So if I'm looking to be a seller today, I'm always going to do it from a technical analysis. The crypto story earlier, if you asked me and said, Rich, why did you buy crypto? To this day, I still can't tell you. I'd be like, I don't know. My friend bought it and it was going up. If you ask me today, Rich, why do you buy currencies? Why do you sell currencies? It's because I'm trading from a technical level that had value from the past. Every single trade entry I take is based on a technical analysis. So technicals this morning, we got this beautiful 4 hour zone. We're going to dial this in ever so slightly on the 1 hour. So look at this price action on the 1 hour. Markets come up, oscillated, pushed up, pulled back one last time and rallied from this wick all the way to the high. Now, if we put this zone from the low of this wick, this demonstrates where the buying pressure came into the market. Market started to sell down, broke lower, came back and retested this zone. Now, is this wick an indication of where sellers may be active? So zooming out on this, looking at current price, interestingly enough, where has price gone? Straight into the bottom of that zone. Now, there's two ways of looking at this. Number one, this is where the sellers are, or number two, learn to count, thank you. This is where the sellers were. Now, either this is where they are, or this is where they were. There's only so many sellers waiting to be filled in the market. We can see on this occasion over here, once, twice, 3 times, and now the market has broke it and came back and retested. Interesting. Sellers might be bailing out of position. So we're heavily, heavily bullish. If I was looking for a reversal, I think I've already missed it. I've had a few opportunities to sell this market lower, and we are continuing to rally higher on the 15-minute. So sure, we're in a higher time frame zone, but the market's still creating this bullish structure. And same again, if we look at the 15-minute, let me just remove this from the chart. We're nice and clean. Love following the story of price. Look at this beautiful structure. Market drives up, oscillates around, breaks this high. Look at this wick to the left, comes down, snatches the liquidity to this low, rallies to the high side, comes back in, and is now finding buying pressure from where all the buyers or the liquidity hunt, depending on how you read price. And it now looks to be making a move to the high side. For me to want to short this from the local price action, I need to be seeing a break under this low. We're not seeing it. We jump down to the 5-minute. For me to be shorting this, we need to see a break of this low. And we've already started breaking down. Now, how many people are going to be trying to catch the sells in this? How many times do we want to go have a go at catching the sells? I'm just not convinced that this is going to be the high of the day just yet. I still think we can see further upside on Euro USD. So at the moment, I have no potential trade idea on Euro USD other than I would be looking for a pullback and a continuation to the high side. But if I want to pull back, I want to be pulling back to this price point. So I'm going to go ahead and put an alert down here, and I'm going to be waiting until my alert starts singing at me, and then I will start building an order into this price point. We break lower, maybe this really is the high of the day. But in typical fashion, and same with the crypto story, I'm brilliant at buying the very top of the day. So now what I do in my trading is I wait for pullbacks and I try and buy the bottom. So that's the analysis on Euro USD. Nothing crazy setting up at the market. We're just looking to, well, you could probably just place buy and make a little bit of money out of it. But as I'm trading from technicals, I need the market to pull back to a price point that makes sense. And it's very, very similar story with GBP USD.
I'm just going to jump in. I'm just going to jump in real quick. Shorting New Zealand dollar CAD. Just been having a look across a couple charts. Most of them euro, any of the majors really aren't attracting me. I was looking for a way maybe in the Aussie dollar. I like the way that we're in a range bound, but we're right in the center of that range at the moment on Aussie dollar. So I was just like, I don't see any value in there. Swapped over to its sister pair, New Zealand dollar CAD. You can see early this morning, bit of volatility, broke a low, managed to push higher. Then we've come down, we broke the low, we'd not held the low, we're pushing back higher again, pushing up into where we rejected throughout the Asian session towards the end into the European session around these 833 levels. As we're pushing up a little bit, we are seeing a very minor divergence, and I do say minor and make aware of that the volume is dropping off as we're pushing a little bit higher into this area on the left. Understand you can't see my mouse, hang on. As we push into this area here, that's where I'm looking to reject. I don't believe we have the strength to get up above this area without previously retracing. So I've gone in with a small $500,000 position. And I'm going to have a look to see we can. I'm going to have a look to see if we can get down to the 832s. 832.78 is where I've kind of set my area for first take profit. So very small, like a 2.5 pip scalp to start taking some risk off, and then to see if we can get down to those 83.24s post that level and take a little bit more off. Ideally to get back to the lows. Will we get back to the lows in one move? I think it's unlikely. Will we get to these lows or at least back into this area prior to breaking this? If we do, I think probability is in my favor, and that's why I've shorted New Zealand dollar CAD to start the trading session.
I like it. Nice trade on the minor pairs as well. Minor pairs are anything without the USD. I'm always sticking to the USD pairs. Maybe I'm limiting myself. John, you're a trader of technical analysis on the Forex markets mostly. Are you always trading minors, or do you just stick to the majors?
No, I do a bit of everything. I do try and have like a sort of macro background to what I do. But I have like this whole system that I built with a currency strength meter, and I try and stick to as close as possible I can to that. So yeah, I've been very much heavily buying the Australian dollar this week. I've been looking at sort of Aussie Swiss longs, pound Aussie shorts, Euro Aussie shorts, things like that. So yeah, I try and find value in a currency that I think strong, and then I try and find the opposite to that, which currency is fairly weak, and then I try and take advantage of those every day. But yeah, I know a couple of people that just trade cable every day, and they seem to do really, really well out the markets. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I think it's just personal, isn't it? It's whatever suits kind of your personality. For me, I had to find a why. I had to find a reason to kind of be in a market. It could obviously that could be from anything. That could be from technicals. It could be from something. But just for me personally, I had to find something that made me want to go to that market in the first place and try and trade it. So that's the way I kind of do things. I mean, I've missed out on a couple of brilliant trades this week. Aussie Kiwi has been a sort of a really good strong market, and that market has rallied substantially. So I'm trying to still try and find some opportunities within sort of the sort of Aussie markets. I'm looking at Aussie Swiss again here. Yeah, yeah. Looking at the Aussie Swiss again, we've kind of come back within this kind of volume zone from yesterday. But if I look at my daily chart in here, well, if I go to the 4 hour, it just looks a little bit cleaner. Although we are kind of seeing this upward trend develop here, we've come into this large sort of area of consolidation where the market's sold off fairly aggressively. So I'm trying to look for buy-ins back on this, but I don't really feel comfortable with buying up at this area right now. I want to wait for a bit more of a downside move. Trying to look around, like I said, at other kind of
Rich
currencies
is not
that I
telling you
like.
because he's a modest man. He's not the type to toot his own horn, but he caught that whole ride from bottom to top on his screen there. Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. He rode the whole thing, and even behind closed doors, he's like, Jordan, I'm the best trader I've ever witnessed. I only had one pip of drawdown on this position. So just so
He's
you're
keeping
aware,
all
I'm
the
dealing
profits
with
to
you,
himself,
Rich.
isn't he? Let's be
Yeah.
honest. He's
Yeah.
he's trading billions and billions in the back end, and I
No,
like
no.
it, John. Keep modest, mate. Keep modest. I like it. But got any signals? Any signals for today?
Uh, I'm having a look. I don't know. I did quite like the idea of maybe shorting pound Aussie,
Mhm.
in and around this zone up at this 180, 89.80 kind of area. Um, Trend is down. The Australian dollar's a strong currency. I've got pound as a little bit of a weaker one. Might not necessarily be against the US dollar, but um, generally across the board, it's been a little bit weaker. So I'm trying to look at this kind of price action here. We've got a nice daily bearish close. Can we maybe see Friday kind of continue to be bearish? Pull back into this area of consolidation. For me, consolidation is an area where buyers and sellers are sort of agreeing on price. And then we get a directional move. So, we might have been in sort of agreement here. Then sellers beat buyers at that point, or buyers gave up and sellers drove prices to the downside. We had a sort of semi retest of that, but we didn't really test the sort of larger volumes within that area. And now we're starting to see that. So I don't mind looking at this potentially for a little bit of a short, but the way I would be kind of looking at this now is I'd be going down to the sort of the 15-minute and looking to see if there's any kind of lower high situation and a move. I mean, if you're a divergence trader, you're looking at this now, you've got prices making higher prices, you've got stochastics making lower highs in here. So as a divergence play, it wouldn't be bad idea you're at resistance to look for a short down from this point. So yeah, I don't mind that one. But other than that, I've not really seen too much in the way of opportunities. The only other market I really like the look of was Euro Pound, but I'm still waiting for a larger correction on that before I get involved with that. Plus elections over the weekend, so I don't really want to be holding anything over the weekend. If I want to be in something today, I need to try and find something that's relatively moving. So pound Aussie for me is probably the play for me.
John, I reckon I found it. I reckon I found the play of the day. We were talking earlier about crypto selling off. I reckon I found where all that money's gone. Look at this rally on the DAX. I reckon all the money's gone out of crypto and straight into the DAX. This is a 15-minute chart. This is the Asia range, the price action before the London Open.
0.82%.
And if we measure from the low, a little bit higher than that, we've topped a 1% move. That's an 180-point rally in the DAX. We look at these are 15-minute bullish candle closes. We've got a bullish candle, another one, an even bigger one, an indecision, a big one, indecision, and another one. Now, for the first time today, we have got an interesting looking candle. Now, I'm wondering whether or not we should sit there and wait for this candle to close. Would this candle give us an indication that sellers are attempting to come into the market or buyers are getting exhausted and they're taking profits? So I'm going to be sitting on my hands for about another 6 or 7 minutes. And depending on how this candle closes, I think I might have found myself a nice little entry. So could be an opportunity if we're a contrarian trader, could be an opportunity to fade the DAX back down. But more than that, zoom out, jump to the 1 hour and look where price, go to the 4 hour even, look where price is right at this beautiful supply zone. So if we were to draw a lovely box across from the left to the right, we can see the market has come right to an interesting selling point from the past. And we've potentially overextended into this price point. Now we've got two ideas here. We've got an overextension. We've got a supply zone from the past. If we sit there and wait nice and patiently for a 15-minute candle close, we might have context to say, I'm going to see if I can trade this to the downside. So got my lot size already set up. John's gone awfully quiet. He's focusing over here. We just know that John's looking to get them billions in on the DAX. But around about 6 minutes time from now, I'm going to be trying to short this. But in the meantime, I'm sitting there waiting for a pullback on GBP USD, looking to get a long entry at 27.72. We've broken to the high aggressively, and I'm looking for the market to come back and just about equal this low. I think
You
there's
want
an
to take it
opportunity.
higher?
I think so. I think so. Only a quick move. I mean, if this breaks this low, I'm all over this for a short. So just going in with a nice casual,
Did you get out and vote yesterday, Rich?
Rich doesn't get out. I mean, come on. You could have said, "Did you get out and go to McDonald's?" Rich still doesn't get out. No. Rich was stuck.
Well
in
answered.
pretty much all day.
Well answered. That's fair.
Yes.
I
Strong
don't care
political
who
answer.
you voted for. Well, obviously, I'm not in the country, so it doesn't matter. But I did remember seeing on our news it being reported that it's one of the lowest turnout of voters in a UK election.
Now you're trying to make me feel guilty. Now I feel guilty. I should have turned up. I should have done my part. I wonder why. It was such a low turnout.
Everyone's given up. They don't care. They're over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's buying the DAX.
Everyone's buying the DAX. That's all right. Crypto's jumping off a cliff, so everyone's upset. I don't care about who's in government. But no, I'm still holding this New Zealand dollar CAD. We pushed a little bit higher, and I was sitting there. I'll see if I can bring up my screen for you. I was sitting there thinking to myself, add to the position, up in this wick. And I decided not to. I didn't add to the position, and now I'm regretting not adding to the position. And a thought went through my brain that I'm going to share with you at that exact point of time, and I've noted it. It's a mental note. I said, why didn't I add to my position? Right. And the answer was fear. Why would I want to double down on a position that I'm already in and add more risk when it could go against me? And straight away, I corrected myself and thought, the analysis is solid. I should be backing this. I shouldn't be scared of it hitting my stop loss. I should be backing this. The analysis is pretty solid. I'm comfortable in this position. What happened? Why didn't I back it? I'm asking. Why? I know I should have backed it.
I thought that was a rhetorical question there because you kind of answered it at the same time.
I don't have the answer. Right? I have speculation on why I think that's happened, but I'm going to ask you to. I mean, everything in my plan and everything in my body was telling me, hey, pull the trigger, back this, double down on it, and I didn't. Why didn't I?
John, I'm going to let you have the first punt at this. You've been streaming with Jordan live for quite a while now. You're getting to know his personality traits. Why on earth did he not pull
just
the trigger?
while you do that, half of the position taken off at first take profit. See, this is the thing. I should have backed it. I was convinced that it was the right decision, but I was too scared. But why was I scared? Like, I'm not even risking much. I'm confused on why my emotion has pushed me away here. I'm looking for advice.
He's got it.
I have no. You've just said that you were fearful. I have no idea why you'd be fearful of taking that. Would you get over leveraged? You weren't over leveraged. I'm sure you wouldn't be over leveraged because you're not the type of guy to do that. So I don't know why you would be fearful of that. Why are you fearing taking a loss? You know, is that?
Yeah.
Have you lost this week already? Have you? Is it being on stream? You know, it can be very difficult to trade while being on stream. You don't want people to necessarily, that are watching. You could be like, I don't want people to be disappointed. There's a backing of that as well. There's lots that can play into it.
You're dancing around it. Look, I wasn't going to do this to you, Jordan, but come on, let's call a spade a spade.
Let's do it.
He was too busy setting up Netflix on his big TV. He just wasn't at his chance to double down on it. That's what it was.
Probably.
I'm a bit annoyed with myself. As we pushed up, now, Rich, you'll know as well because I've been in the live trading floor a fair few times. I scale in and out of my positions quite quickly. Right. And if I get a sense that I'm in the wrong position, I don't hesitate. I'm out. I'll get out of it. Right. Like if it's pushing against me very quickly, I'm gone. This pushed against me quickly. And that was my first instinct of, okay, it's moving against me quickly. Is this position valid? Or should I be getting out of this? And I sat there and went, no, it's very valid. In fact, where the prices we currently are, I'd argue it's better entry point. So in my side, I didn't go full lot or anything. I only went 5 lots. So I'm like, right, I can afford to add more to the position here. I should be adding more to the position here. Jordan, add more to the position here. Jordan, add more to the position here. Jordan, add more to the position here. I didn't. It come back down. It's gone. It's hit first take profit and we're continuing lower. And I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I know it's fear. I know I was scared of pulling the trigger because if I wasn't scared of pulling the trigger, I would have pulled the trigger. But I can't figure out why. I mean, I've been on stream for a year. That pressure doesn't really phase me too much anymore. Obviously, it still gets in there a little bit. I'm not over leveraged. I'm not over risking. It was I was risking $160 on the first position. Added on, I probably would have went maybe $250, $300. Very normal risk. I can't figure it out. I'm generally baffled. That's why I'm asking, because I'm generally stuck. I'm sitting here going, why did I not do that? What am I scared of? I can't figure it out.
Well, while we piece together the missing bits of the puzzle, I'll show you, Jordan. I'll show you how you scale into a trade. So we got a 15-minute candle close on the DAX at the moment, and it's not my favorite. I was looking to go in with about 4 lots. Now I've just broken that down just into a 1 lot position. So we can see lovely, beautiful bullish run. This blue box here represents a higher time frame zone. We've closed this 15-minute candle, but look where we've closed. We've not really kind of shown me much about the market. Wanted to close a little bit lower. I was waiting to get into this very, very aggressively with the stops on the high. So what I decided to do is just kind of dip my toe in. We've gone in with a nice, cool, casual 1 lot position. And I've actually put my stop loss nice and wide. So on this 4-hour high, if the market runs me out, no problem. I'm only putting on the line $500. If the market breaks this low, and maybe this is the reason why you didn't scale in, is because I find if I'm going to take an action in the markets, I find it really useful to objectively identify what I'm trying to do and vocalize it as well. Often I don't do this on stream because I sound like a bit of a weirdo, but if I was to do it on stream, it would sound like this. Right, Rich, you're in this. We've got a little bit of a weird candle close on the 15 minutes. Stops nice and wide, only risking 0.5% of the account. Now, what I'd like to see is the market just...
John, do you know the difference between his dialogue right now and his dialogue just before? Because I
don't. Okay, you got me. I'm just weird all the way through. Let me finish my dialogue, guys. Right. If the market is just to push a little bit lower and just start to break this low, maybe the last low of the buying pressure, which is this bullish candle that come up, made new high, I'm going to then scale into the trade. I'm going to. I need to, I will. These are affirmation words. I will scale into the trade. I will open this position size to the left. I will put 1 lot. I will get ready to click sell. We can see the market is going to go, no, the market is moving lower. I will click sell. As soon as, let me put an alert here. Let me make this even easier for myself. When this alert triggers, my finger is going to click sell. My stop loss is going to be pulled down ever so slightly so I can manage risk around these 2 entries. And maybe it's about making it objective. Maybe it's about making it so super easy that if you were the employer and you had an employee, he understands exactly what he needs to do. So much of trading is in our minds. It's, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. I think I should do this. What if we created a process document? And our job is just to rock up every day, put a pair of socks on, and just execute on that process. Maybe just make it super rules-based. And you didn't do that today. Did you read your trading plan? You know, I know we can get a little bit lazy. You've been trading we're rounding up about 27 years now. But the thing is, we can wander off our trading processes. Maybe it's pull it back to basics and say, I didn't execute as I should. Let me put a mechanical rule in place where I have to read my process before I execute the plan. Maybe something like that. Watch me fat finger this and not execute on it as well live on stream.
Yeah, let's. But no, I don't know. Like I'm very in tune with my plan. I love this community, by the way. Let me just put it out to everyone at TradeDelicious. Some of the messages we're getting through in chat right now, loving this. You're all prompting on why I'm shit. Are absolutely loving it, right? So big shout out to you. No, but I said Misha's popped in. Have you not tested enough? Nah, not a problem. Thoroughly in tune with what I'm doing, and I know, we all know, I know that was where I should have scaled in. I was telling myself, Jordan, scale in. I know that was my plan. I just didn't execute on it. News coming. There is actually some Euro news coming up, but I'm trading New Zealand dollar CAD, so I'm not too worried about that. Are you hungry? I am, actually. I am. Not enough sleep. No, slept like a baby. I've got a new TV. Too much distraction on the stream. No, I'm enjoying it. I like it. It makes me feel like I'm on a trading floor, and that's the point of this. So I appreciate the suggestion. Not really. You didn't back it, Jordan, because you weren't certain on it. I'm never certain on anything. That's trading. Regards to your plan, but no, that definitely lined up probability in favor. You may feel after the fact that it was a quality setup, but you didn't take it and revealed a weakness in the plan. Yeah. I think even if that went through to hit my stop loss and I had scaled in, still would have been content. That setup was pretty nice. Best one of the day, in my opinion. I think a good way, accept it for what it is. I've got no choice. So I appreciate that, Des. Study the trade, see what you can do. I think it's a good way to look at these things, to accept that that where we are in trading is exactly here, and we're supposed to be according to our abilities. Yeah, but the way I've performed over the past 12 months tells me that was a poor execution. I know I can do better. That's why I'm upset. I know I've proven that I'm better than that. That was a great, we've gone through, and I'm going to address your comment in a little bit here, Munit, as well. We've gone through, let me pull up my screen. Sorry. Hit that first take profit, and now trading a little bit lower, trying to get down to that second. And I didn't add to the position. You know what that means? I made $19. How good? How good? I made $19. That's not good enough. I'm trading a $100,000 account. I don't want to be sitting here making $19, right? Now, keep in mind, it's okay, right? It's still a win's a win. I'm not upset. But this setup, according to my plan, told me I should have made a lot more than that. Should have made a lot more than that on the first take profit where I've scaled out there. Now I've got 20. I've got another 34 still running, so I can get around 50 at these price levels, which isn't too bad. But this could be 100 if I scaled incorrectly. I could have averaged my entry point at a much better spot if I stuck to my plan. So that's what I'm reveling with. And then last one, just because I'm taking over everything at the moment, Munit has come in and said, if your entry has been validated, why do you scale out? I understand why you would scale out of a loss. Now, this is a fun one. Scaling out of a loss, you understand, because you're mitigating risk, but scaling out of profit when you're mitigating profit doesn't make sense. What I like to do, okay, is fade. If you haven't heard the term fade before, it means when price goes one way, I want to take it the other way. I'm contrarian. I'm that pain in the ass standing there with the stop sign saying, hey, we're going back for a little bit. The problem with doing that is you're against everyone else. You're against the power. You're against everything, right? And to get yourself in a mindset of where you can pick the top time and time and time again, that's silly. That's really silly. Now, what I can do, proven with Edge, is pick areas we reject. That I can do. I'm pretty good at doing that, right? You've seen it, 1 + 1 = 0 hedge fund display. We're pretty good at picking areas where price is going to struggle a little bit. Sometimes we're wrong, but most of the time, probability-wise, we do all right. So that's what I do. I look at a problem area, and that's where I go, hey, I'm going to fade from here. And I enter my position. Now I do the exact same thing. I know I'm against the trend. So every area we come up against going against the trend of where it can potentially turn is a potential turning spot for that whole trade. I want to make sure I'm paid for the analysis I've done. So every area I mark it out. And the more and more that we go through is the more and more profit I want to lock in as we go through. And that's my strategy. That's my edge. I'm not trying to take the whole pie. I'm not trying to take the whole movie. Yes, there's plenty of times I've picked the top, and if I just held it, I would made money. All right, but there's a million times I wouldn't have. Right. So what I like to do is just take the money as I'm getting paid, because I know I'm against the trend. I know I'm against everyone else. And I know the probability isn't in my favor if I try to stretch. If I'm looking for a little pullback, a little scalp in there, awesome. I'm in my zone. I've got a bit of probability behind me. If I'm looking for the big stretch, I'm wasting my time. That's why I like to scale out of winners.
I think it's the important thing is knowing, like you said, the condition that you're trading in depends on how you're going to manage that trade. If you are with the trend, then you're less likely to scale out of it in quick succession. But if you are fading, you need to know that you're fading against the predominant trend, and that you're probably not going to get essentially the reward out of it unless something really significantly changes in your favor. Like maybe a news event comes out and it drives that price against the trend or what. So yeah, I think it's the most important thing is just understand that condition that you're trading and can really help you. And obviously your strategy is fading the predominant trend, so you need to take profits quickly because that trend could just snap back like that. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I just thought I'd run that through. Muna, I hope that makes sense. Misha's come in and said, I don't understand scaling out a loss, mitigating risk. Mitigating risk. Rich disagrees with me, but I like doing this. Every second that goes past once you're in a trade, a lot of set and forget traders. Right? I don't like it. John, are you a set and forget trader?
Not really.
No. Okay. Sorry, I was just about to...
I just forget.
No, sorry, no. I was just no. For me, I basically, depending on what time frame I'm trading, I will be watching it via those sort of time frames. Yeah. I set about a bajillion alerts, and just to keep an eye on things. But no, the way I look at it is like if you set and forget. If I was on a trading floor and I did a set and forget, and my boss turned around to me and said, "What's price doing right now? How much are you up? How much are you in a loss?" And I didn't know, I'd get fired. I'd get fired straight away, not knowing that information. So I don't like the set and forget. And to be honest, do you ever really set and forget anyway? Because you probably check it on your phone 500 times, and you're probably thinking about it the entire time. So are you really set and forgetting? You might be set and forgetting by walking away from the screen, but there's so many ways that you can go and look at your position and stuff now.
But, to circle back to that, Misha, I believe the time you're in the position, it can print a lot of information. If you set and forget, you're printing all that new information that you're getting, all that relevant information that you're getting, you're ignoring it and you're choosing to ignore it. I believe that information is solid. Okay, if if you nail the entry point and you're seeing a lot of selling pressure, a lot of buying pressure come in where you've entered, that can be a great signal to scale in and make more money. Right, than what you're planning on. Vice versa, if you've got in, it's ripped through and you're seeing it's just going and going and going and going, and you've printed 16 candles of nothing but green, it's telling you buyers want to buy it. I'm not going to sit there and hold my fingers and be like, I hope this doesn't hit my stop loss. I'm going to actively be like, no, I'm going to scale out of this. I'm going to reduce a lot of my risk because I don't want to sit here and cop a full loss when evidence is telling me that the probability of copping a full loss is a lot higher than what it was when I entered. That's why I scale out.
Hang on. But you can do that because your stop loss is wider. So if we talk about a typical trader that might be going in 1 minute charts, smart money concepts, maybe a 5 pip stop loss, you blink and the market has moved from your entry to your stop or your entry to your target. So very often when we're in the trade with smaller stops, we don't have that time to think about, hey, what on smaller stops?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll have a 5 pip stop loss, and the chance, like the probability, if we went through my stats, the probability of a full stop ever being hit is very, very, very slim. Very slim. Well, look at the last time. When was the last time I was on? Monday? I think I traded Monday. Yeah, Monday. We traded together Monday. Go back and watch that stream. I had 2 losses. Both of them tight stops. I think they were maybe 4 pips, maybe 5 pip stops on both of them. And I was out of them within maybe 2.5 pips, maybe less. I'd cut the loss because price action told me, hey, you're wrong. You're wrong. Get out. And so I did. I got out. But that was with a 5 pip.
Very hard for people to do that.
I stand corrected. Sorry, John.
Sorry, Rich. It's very hard for people to cut losses, because they still believe that the trade's going to play out and they want it to play out So it's very, very difficult to cut a loss. Um, so although I'm on the same agreement, if price is going against me, why am I going to take the full hit? And
Yeah.
even if it came back in my favor, why can't I just get back in? Well, I've done that. I did that this week. We talked about Euro Aussie short, and I got stopped on. I got stopped on two positions, going against me, and I ended up going short again and took all that back and some because the technicals were still there. I just might have misplaced my judgment on where I got in and where I put my stop loss, but the whole system of why I wanted to be short was still technically sound. So yeah, I kind of looked at it. Really speaking, I left it overnight because I thought that I'd be okay overnight, and I had this belief that the euro was just going to tank anyway. So I was very much like, oh, I'm happy with that, and I took two full losses. But when I say full losses for me, I only risk like 0.25% a trade. So it was like 0.5% for me. And then when I got back in the time where it really started to go, I went full risk. I went full risk. I went full 1%, and I got everything back handsome because there was the element of I've got more information now.
Yeah.
Right, we've took that area that I didn't expect to be taken, and price hasn't continued higher. What does that tell me? Well, it tells me that maybe the buyers aren't really interested above this area, so maybe I should stick to my short kind of bias here. So yeah,
I like
Euro
it.
Aussie was that example for me this week.
I've just as a quick PSA, I've taken another 1.5 lots off of this position, really slowing down in this area here. Once again, I'm against the trend. In my belief, I'm against the trend here, at least there. And these pullbacks, they're very easy for these buyers to want to get back involved. Very easy for all these buyers here to want to get back involved as we're pulling back. So reducing a bit of my risk, taking another 1.5 lots off, another little bit of profit. So still got one lot running. Started with 5, got one left running, trying to aim down for this 83 threes area, but stop loss, while it's above there, it doesn't look like it's break even. If you're counting the profit I've already banked and what that loss would be, my stop loss is in profits. Another good way to do stop losses, if people haven't seen me trade before, take a bit of your profit off. You can keep your stop loss where it is, or move it just a little bit. Be technically break even, but give your trade more room to run. Give yourself more width in that stop loss area. It's a good way of doing it. Other than the traditional, just bring your stop to break even. You can do it a different way.
You were talking earlier and said Rich doesn't quite agree with the whole adjusting your trade based on new information. There's one thing that I think as a trader I've learned to agree with over the years: proven profitable hedge.
Yeah.
If you have a proven profitable hedge, honestly, anything you do, if it has a proven sustainable profitable edge. Let me just add that in because martingaling is not sustainable.
Oh no! Why is this back?
It's because I have 100% win rate with martingaling on the stream. That's
Everyone's almost got 100% win rate with martingale.
But yeah, if you have a proven profitable, sustainable approach, you could say, "Hey, Rich, I trade negative, 99% risk reward. Like I'm risking literally $10,000 to make $1. If you can show me, and you would have to show me millions of sample size for that to become a sustainable approach. But if you could show a big enough sample size, then in all honesty, I don't think there's any idea you could ever pitch in the market that's crazy enough that I wouldn't go, absolutely. If you've got a proven profitable edge, you keep executing on it. And then
I've seen some crazy ones.
What's the craziest one you've ever seen?
I've met a trader that bet on the moon phase cycles.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
100%. I've seen his data and it was good.
John, don't agree with him. You're encouraging
I'm being deadly serious. I've seen the same. I've seen a guy do the like tarot dice and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a guy do that, and he has like he's like a big trader in a hedge fund.
Yeah, I've literally seen a guy bet on like the whole. I don't know what it's called, the phases, the moon phases.
Yeah, the moon phases.
They do. I kid you not, in equities, and the ideology he explained behind me is it's human he's betting on the human reaction to those phases and what they do in the decision making. And because, especially in the equity markets, like individual stocks, you see investors' decisions are influenced by the human making the decision. He goes, you see patterns based on that cycle, and he traded that. He traded. Kid you not, he trades moon phase, and his data was good. His data was good.
Chat, tell me, are these guys trolling me? Like, I can't
I
figure
swear
this out or
swear
not.
to God.
Trading
Honest.
moon cycles. How can we?
I feel like actually you're on TradingView, John, aren't you?
I am.
Do you have a moon indicator on TradingView?
I believe there. I believe
Is there a
is
moon
one.
indicator? Don't to me about that.
No, I think there is. Can you go to indicators and have a look? I just search
Don't
like
joke to me
moon
about that.
phases or something. I'm pretty sure there is
Oh
one.
my God. Oh my God. There is actually a moon phases.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Wait, let me just
I'm speechless.
chart forward.
I need to get out my notepad and pen. I'm this is something else.
So what am I? Do I need to go to the daily charts? Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
What the hell is this?
Moon phases.
Right. We're ready.
Do they give me like, is that just like a full moon or something? What is that?
Have a look. Click can you click on it and see?
Let's go in the settings. A waxing moon and a waning moon.
I don't know what that is, but it's an indicator. Right? People use this stuff. I'm not as you said, Rich, I'm not an advocate for it. Right?
No.
I'm not.
I stand by what I said earlier. If there's profitable edge in this, I stand by it.
Someone makes money from it, right?
I mean, if that's calling the bottom there, they've done all right job there.
A few times.
That's insane.
A few times.
Why is it like the gaps look like they're the same though? So I don't get that. Why wouldn't it be different? That's 10 bars.
Can you imagine that day? You wake up,
bars.
it's cloudy. Bless you. It's cloudy, and you're like, I can't see the moon. I don't know what to trade today. I don't know what size to go in. What's my lot size?
You Brit traders wouldn't be able to trade anything.
I know. You don't want to get the telescope out, would you?
But you asked for my craziest thing I've ever seen. I've seen someone trade. It wasn't this. He had a whole philosophy behind it, but basically traded moon phases or whatever the whole thing's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it was on phases of the moon and human reaction to that, and he would trade that, and he made money. Wasn't enough to make me go, should I be trading moon phases?
Okay.
But this goes back to that, if you've got a proven edge, I don't care what it is that makes you do it. If you can show me statistics that it's working for 2-3 years, good on you. Go trade whatever you want to trade. You won't influence me. I'll be curious and I'll be interested, but I know my edge as well. And I know if I stick to my edge, I'll make money. If someone can make an edge through some crazy stuff, go for it. All the best to you.
It makes me wonder what they've had to go through to get to the point of using moon phases. Like what have they gone through in order to go, you know what, I've tried absolutely everything. What's the moon saying today? What's the moon saying tonight?
That is a gambler.
That baffles me.
That is a gambler at heart if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm impressed. I'm super, super impressed. And if there's edge to it, I stand by what I said. If there's edge over time, then I cannot disagree with people's reliable data. If they have edge, then absolutely. What would it look like if I was to buy a trading course and it was based on moon cycles? And I didn't know until I bought the course.
I'll tell you what.
If it made money. If it made money.
Hang on. John, I can hear John's brain ticking here. What are you
He's on ChatGPT saying, "Make me alpha."
I'm just looking at what a waxing moon is.
Okay.
A waxing gibbous phase is between a half moon.
Be careful
and a
googling that. That's
a waxing moon.
Yeah, be careful.
Could have got some dodgy results there. Waxing means it's getting bigger. Okay. What was the other one?
Waning?
No. Oh, that's
waning. Yeah, waning.
It's fading or something. Waning. I can't understand what waning is. Waning moon. It's between a full moon and a half moon. It means it's getting smaller. Okay,
Sheer
so
Des has come in. Sheer desperation. This is where trading takes you. The will
yeah,
to
that's what I'm
grasp
saying.
onto anything that will help you.
literally. My
But
dad would be interested in this. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
my dad
find
would.
it fascinating, right? And that's part of what we're doing at Trade Delicious, exploring these different things and these different ways that people trade, and to prove the point that us three, we don't trade the same way. We make money. To prove like it's not, there's not a you have to do this, you have to know this. It's you could know whatever the hell you want to know. If you can prove that you can make money on it, go make
Yeah,
money on it. Like you don't
yeah,
need to
absolutely.
listen to the mean, listen to what everyone else does. Do
Yeah.
yourself, go study moon phases and stuff.
I have to say, I would love to trade a trading system that was so unique that
Hmm.
when you tell people about it, they're like, "Excuse me, sorry,
What?
you said you were a trader and you trade like." I would love that because no, it's never going to disappear. It's your unique edge. It's not like, "Hey, I got this supply zone, this price action, this fair value gap." It would be like, "No, no, I got something up my sleeve that like it's not even an ace. It's something like Joker." It's probably a bad example, but you know what I mean.
I
Something
get you.
different.
Yeah.
Man, I'm jealous. I want something like that. I genuinely want something so unique. Um,
No, you imagine having to explain that every time you tell someone you trade. Oh,
Yeah,
Imagine going to
crazy.
work for a hedge fund. Hey, welcome in. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Right, if you can cast your eyes upwards at the sky, it, I'm just lost. I'm totally
No,
lost
I
with
know.
it.
Yeah,
but
I know a guy that does that. I know a guy that does that. He has a substantial fund, and he based his trade off of these like tarot sort of dice thing. I don't know what they are, but like he basically just it kind of tempted me once. I was thinking, should I just open a little gambling account? And those little kind of spinny wheels you can get. Do I just say like, what should I buy today? Should I put a load of assets on it? Do it. Put it on another asset, do it, and I did it.
that is one
Well,
plus one.
I'm
That's
saying this like I didn't do it. I actually did do it, and
You
I
did do it.
it told me to buy oil, and yeah, I did it, and it did actually work. But then it told me to do some other trades that didn't work out very well at all. So that's why I thought this is a proper gamble.
what I'm
But yeah,
hearing is we should experiment. But if we've learned
yeah,
anything, if we just sit together and hedge, we'll find a way out of it in profits anyway. So we can afford to. Let's do it with real money.
exactly, exactly.
Might need a hedge
This
in this DAX position. We're sitting underwater at the moment, around about $230. Found no selling interest. We've just got this nothing but a bullish run. And then we get this beautiful selling candle. Baits me in. And fortunately, this time I've gone in with small size. Market is just continuing higher. Who is looking at this price action and going, I want to buy this? We're 1% up on the day. I want to buy this. We're going up 2%, 3%, 4%. Apparently, there are people that are doing it. So, God, I thought there'd be more
was there
people looking
any
at this.
big earnings out of Germany today?
And not until I believe it's 1:30. I believe it's 3 hours from now. Will be when we have Canadian dollar and US dollar high impact news events coming out.
No, I mean,
I believe.
because remember, you're trading the DAX, right? And the DAX is built up with 40 equities, 40 stocks. Now, if one of those big weighted stocks have earnings and they're running through the roof because they've just earned way more than everyone's expected, then no one's going to be looking at the technicals on DAX saying, oh boy, DAX is moving, or we shouldn't be buying up here. It's going to be more of, hey, Volkswagen have just made massive profits. I want to be an investor. And that's going to kind of what's be pushing. And specifically more with the DAX because it's only 40. It's not weighted as much as what you see the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. So you can, if one stock's good earnings can be enough to push the German 40 stocks up. The way Nvidia mysteriously has been for the S&P 500, it can have enough. So I'm just wondering whether or not there's been any German stock earnings that might be causing the rally that we're seeing there.
Yeah, it sounds like you were expecting me to be a responsible trader. Unfortunately, I had no awareness of any of that, so I was just trading the price action. But this is why I love streaming with you guys, because you bring this stuff to my attention. You're like, hey, Rich, reminder, DAX is made up of 40 Germany companies, and you might have had some yellow news events or stock earnings that you weren't aware of. It's something that I've never, ever ever taken into consideration when it comes to trading the DAX. And I've been trading this for over a year as well. So you've given me something else to my arsenal here. Where would I find out that kind of information?
Google.
I thought you were going to give me a specific site. Google.
Well,
Out there
the
in the world.
site, what you'd probably be in German. So unless you speak fluent German, I wouldn't worry about it. But no, usually you'll find the what I'm having a look. It doesn't look like we've had any.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be, no events. So it doesn't look like we've had any earnings. So it's not that. But this is like what I was getting at when I gave Will a bit of an elbow last week as well. And he calls it the NAS 100. And I'm like, that's the CFD name. I'm like, that's because they don't have the rights to call it the NASDAQ. I'm like, we do know what we're trading there, right? Like it's 100 tech stocks out of the US, like that's the NASDAQ, and that's why like sometimes I get frustrated when FX traders aren't aware of what's happening in the bigger picture. And I understand you don't need to. You can still make money without being aware. I understand that. But there's a few things like the gapping over the weekend, like unexpected news that people call unexpected news, which isn't unexpected because you weren't in the know, you didn't know it was arriving. That these are driving factors of your currency, and you should know what you're trading. You should really know what you're trading. If you're like John's alluded to a few times today, if he was at a hedge fund and his boss asked for information, if you were just a GU and EU trader and your boss come in and said, hey, we're going to give you another 20 million, but can you tell me what prices it's trading at and who the prime minister is of England at the moment? You need to be on the ball. You need to know that. You need to be aware of the situations that affect what you're trading. I believe you need to be aware of what impacts that and little things like that. We come from CFDs. Barrier to entry is really easy. There's not much information on it. It's like this asset's here. This moves a little bit. You might want to trade it. And that's how people get into trading. And it's kind of bad. It's good because it welcomes everyone into the industry, but it's bad because it teaches people the wrong habits of not understanding what it is we're actually trading. And that's just what I'm an advocate for a little bit. People don't like it. Most people don't like it. Like, Jordan, shut up. It doesn't matter. I think it matters. I just like saying, if you're trading the DAX, just be aware you're trading 40 companies out of Germany, right? That are all pulled into one. And what happens with those companies is going to affect that price.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's my rant.
And when we come, no, I love it. And when we come back full circle to what we were talking about earlier, when I bought cryptos, I had no reason why. Again, bar to entry is so low. At least now I'm like, I'm buying because of a technical reason. What Jordan's saying is, Rich, there's layers to this onion. Like, I understand you got layer one down. Brilliant. Fantastic. You have a reason to buy.
And layer one
It's
can be enough. Layer one can be enough.
But I'm interested in making my eyes cry and digging into that onion a bit deeper. And layers two.
If you want to cry, get in macroeconomics. We'll open that door.
No, brilliant. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit digging in that, and I'll let you know next week what we find in that, because it's if I can sharpen my edge, this is why I care about it. If I understand that there's reasons to put the brakes on and there's reasons to press the throttle because I've got extra confluence, and it could be on a macroeconomics level, I'm gonna make all the monies. I'm gonna be going up to that guy going, give me that extra 20 million because I want to be trading this. So I'm super excited to be. That's the nerd in me talking, but I'm super excited to be trying to deeper understand my trading system and see if there's extra edge in it.
Yeah, key example is the Bank of Japan intervention that John and I talk about all the time in morning briefing, and that we're expecting it to happen again. There's going to be no calendar that tells you that that's coming. Now, when it first happened, there was indications. They were like, hey, this 160 area, if we get weak, we're going to buy up the currency and we're going to send this. And they did. Now, a lot of traders who aren't aware of the macro side of what they're trading would have no idea that was even on the cards. And it's still on the cards today. We're trying to sit around going, when's it coming? I've placed a bet waiting for it to come in. So I'm expecting it, but it's not coming yet. If it does come, I don't know. We could be wrong. But the point is, an FX calendar is not going to tell you that that's coming or when it's coming. And if you're not aware of it, you could be trading the Japanese yen day trading, so you're leveraged up, you're trading high lots, and then the Bank of Japan go, now's the time we're going to do it. And a mistake like that could be avoided by being in the know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. The most informed trader, I think, is probably the most consistently profitable trader, or at least the trader that's going to stay in the game for the longer time, right?
I'm out of that position now, by the way. I closed it all in here. You can see we started turning around. So at this level right here, which was the 83269, I closed the whole position. As you can see, we're getting a very nice reversal. I'm just looking for the pullback. I'm pretty happy with my execution on that pullback. Disappointed I didn't add to the position here and make more money on the pullback, but it is what it is. But completely out of that position. It looks like it's starting to head higher again. So profitable trading day, not only a small one, but a profitable trading day today.
Sounds like you got some journaling to do over managing in that.
Yeah,
That's
I've got a video
you...
journal right here.
True.
Exactly,
yeah, true. We were talking about this only yesterday, actually, about like what do you journal? What's in your ASR? What's in your daily review? And we were actually talking that you can write it down, obviously, but you can also audio record it, and you can record yourself on video as well. So it's interesting you brought that up and said, hey, I use these streams. I actually go back, watch them, and it is my journal. It is my recording. Traders, if you've never done it, it's definitely worth considering recording yourself. Listen to the words you use. Listen to how you speak about your trading day. The kind of words we use are incredibly powerful. I've done this before, sometimes done like a 30-minute voice recording and then have to listen back to it. And it's just full of the same, I had this set up and I wasn't sure today. And then I put my risk on and then it went into profit and I wasn't sure. So I closed it right early. And I can almost hear my shoulders are down, my head's down, my voice is down, my morale's down. And it's a profitable day. And I was listening to this guy talking about how you talk, your inner critic, how you hold yourself, the power morning routine, the power pose. Have you ever heard it?
Power pose.
A power pose. You can stand in a very strategic way
Chest up
for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, it's
Hold.
chest up, it's shoulders back, it's hands on your hip, it's chin up, and it's elevate your voice. Now, if you do this for 2 minutes, you will boost your testosterone levels by 20%. And apparently
Buying
this
the
works
TV was a good idea.
So
works,
consider your pose when you're talking and when you're journaling and when you're doing this kind of stuff, because I think your pose, your mindset, and the kind of voice you hear yourself talk at the end of the day is going to affect how you feel, and how you feel affects what you do, and what you do affects your P&L. So full circle. Journal.
Well done.
Thanks.
What's your game plan with this DAX position?
TP or stop loss. It's not like the market has printed this beautiful engulfing candle showing me the willingness to go higher. I'm going to hang on to this trade until it breaks this 4-hour zone, and then I'm going to go and cry into a pillow. I'm going to give up on the analysis. I gave the trade plenty of room to breathe. If I was a smarter trader, if I was looking at this, I'd be saying, hey, look, we consolidated, we printed a bearish candle, we potentially showed the sign of going lower. Market 15 minutes later printed this beautiful engulfing candle to the high side, showing that the market's not done yet for buyers. I would be cutting this trade if I was using such information. Now, that's something I will put in my journal. There was an opportunity to close this trade around about a 0.6R loss. Now, I'm going to hold this trade for TP and stop loss. Why? Because I'm so scarred by the one time that Jordan said, Rich, what if the market prints new information and you should close that trade? I did. I closed that trade live with Alex on stream, and Euro USD ran about 50, 60 pips in my favor. I'm still holding that baggage, Jordan. Until I get over that, I'm not going to allow myself to close another trade in drawdown. But again, incredibly insightful stuff. And over the larger sample size, if there's edge in it, I'm going to find it and I'm going to adjust it.
Yeah, Noel's looking to sell the DAX above 18,650.
Wow.
So he's looking for a break a little higher and then to bring it back in. Noel's looking at it. I don't trade the DAX. I don't trade the DAX. Not a big DAX trader to be honest. I'll play around with indices, but not the DAX.
Now, did I tell you the story how I started trading the DAX?
You part German?
Sorry.
Are you part
Oh,
German?
No, definitely not. I used to lay in bed every morning and found out that around about 8 a.m. UK time, the DAX markets would have insane volatility. It would shoot up 20, 30, 40, 50 points inside a minute, and it would shoot down 20, 30, 40, 50 points inside the same minute. And I used to sit on my phone and I just used to randomly click buy and sell. And I wouldn't get out of bed until I made £50. And most mornings I would get out of bed after about 5 minutes, making £50. Do you remember how long ago it was when the markets were limiting down in a day?
That's
They
happened
were
a few
hitting the.
times. Was that during the COVID crash?
I'm going to say it was about 4 years ago. Now, if you don't know what this is, limit down is where the market limits 7% and the market physically has to close. It's hit its maximum
Yeah,
daily drop.
pause trading.
That's it. And they pause it for 15, 20 minutes, gives traders an opportunity to reset and think, what are we doing here? Like, we're crashing economies. Like, maybe we need a timeout. And then they would open it after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it would go again. You can Google about it. It's super, super interesting stuff. I remember one day I was laying in bed and I sold the DAX and I didn't get out until it had dropped over 5%. And I remember making over £700 on this. The account balance, Jordan, was £1,000 when I started that trading day. So to give you an idea of how heavily leveraged I was. So most mornings I would sit there and I'd make £50 a day on £1,000 account. I mean, who wouldn't make 5% a day? Come on, we're traders. We want to make money. That's my understanding of it. Bear in mind, this was 4, maybe 5 years ago. And I managed to take the account from £1,000 and I took it up to £2,500. And I did that inside of 3 weeks because I was the bedroom DAX trader. Well, next thing you know, I got margin called because I kept buying the market as it was selling and it never come back. So margin call is where the broker looks at your account and says, we're gonna close your trades for you automatically because maybe you've made a mistake here. So I got margin called at 50% of my max account size. So my account dropped from 2,500 to £1,250. The next day I got margin called again. I managed to drop my account from £1,250 down to about 600. And then I built it back up from 600 to over 2,000 again. And I got margin called again. And I ended up round about £1,000. And I did this all in a 6 week cycle. So leverage clearly was not the issue. The problem was I had this rule. I'm not getting out of bed till I made £50. And I remember one time I did this on a big account. One day I got out of bed and I was £4,000 in the hole. And that was a horrible, horrible week waiting for the market to come back and breathe. And inevitably it did. But one day the market never came back. So do not trade DAX without stop losses. Do not trade around liquidity, volatility just for the sake of getting excited that the market can move. We can all randomly place a trade and enjoy profits or losses, but have a technical reason for it and manage your risk. I learned that the hard way.
Do you know
good fun.
why that volatility kicks in at the DAX at that time?
Yeah, because there's probably 200,000 traders like me in bed on their phones, just hammering the buy and sell button. No, I have no idea. Sorry.
The stock market opens. You were trading the stock market opens.
Yeah. No. So I know the stock market opens, but I don't know that everyone. I assume everyone's just sitting there waiting, going 5, 4, 3, and they're all kind of getting ready to just be scalping around.
It's almost the same with all of them. You look at the FTSE, you look at the S&P 500, you look at the opening hour. That is, most trades are done in the opening hour.
So one thing I never understood with that, is it there's thousands and thousands of traders putting on huge size, or is it the lack of traders not willing to put on orders and the market moves to the next available price?
Thousands of people wanting to get in at the open. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I don't do it now. 6 years later, I don't do it. There's a reason I don't do it. It's because I couldn't make money sustainably. I care about sustainable approaches in the market and full cycle back to like what I did there, full cycle. Back to what Jordan said about the moon cycle earlier. If you have data on it, it doesn't matter how crazy your system is. If you manage your risk and you have a profitable system, then let the edge work for you over time. Yeah, interesting times.
Yeah. Oh, I like these stories. That's the good thing about chatting to traders. We get to go through the silly things we've done. I've been there. I've done some real silly things. But that's part of learning, right? You don't learn. Sometimes you need to get burnt to learn. We've talked about this before. Come on, John. What's a silly thing you've done?
What's the silly thing I've done? Oh my God. which one do I pick from? That was probably trading the US president election when Trump got in was a bad one for me. It was a really bad one for me.
Yeah.
I thought that gold would go higher because of it, because of the uncertainty around him, and I over leveraged on that, and I got burnt in a big way. Yeah, I got burnt real big. I'm pretty sure I lost my account that day. Yeah,
Ooh.
it wasn't a big account, wasn't anything.
It's gold. It's gold.
Fortunately,
Don't trade gold.
Yeah, fortunately for me, I've never really lost big accounts. I've never really lost huge amounts. I've been quite fortunate in that sense. But yeah, I've over leveraged a lot other times. There's been a lot of time. One of my old bad habits was to add to losing trades quite a lot. If the market was kind of going against me and I'd maybe lost one or two trades, I try and buy back into it thinking that it was going to go back up and turn at some point. So yeah, we've all been there. I think we've all tried to do these type of things. But yeah, no, US president's election. The other one was actually funny enough, NFP, which is coming up today. I don't trade NFP anymore, and there was a good reason. Yeah, there was a good reason for that, because I thought there was all week they were building up this data that was coming, that it was going to be the worst NFP that you're going to see in like 10 years or whatever.
To the media.
Yeah, listen to the media, and I was like, oh my God, we got to sell dollar today. We have to sell dollar today. I went to dollar yen and put an order on, and just didn't go well for me at all. It turned out to be like the best in history or something. Also, not in history, obviously, but it was like the best in 10 years or whatever, instead of the worst in 10 years. And I was just like, oh, typical. So they've told me all week that it's likely going to be the worst, and then it's turned out to be the best in 10 years. So that wasn't great either. So yeah, I don't trade NFP anymore. Well, every now and again, but like it's from a place of I'm looking to see how it affects the market on a longer term scale, rather than looking for the short term movement of NFP. But I think that's one of the first things that I traded was the NFP event back in the day. My first actual trade was on wheat. Mine
was oil.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. So commodities, yeah.
Yeah, commodities.
I don't know why I bought wheat, but it was almost like the first thing that popped up on a trading 212 terminal back in the day. And it was just like wheat was there. Clicked on wheat, it looked good. I bought it. That was it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Go on, Rich. You do the honors.
Okay. Nothing following. We're all done following. For the week.
We're done for the week. So
it is that unfortunate time where we are going to call it a day. We've been streaming 5 days this week. Every single day we start at 8:30 UK time, where Jordan and Jonathan are just hitting you every day with their top-down analysis. Not top-down analysis. I'm watching this trade out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, come on, sell down. So get involved at Monday morning, 8:30. We're going to be back. Manage your risk. As John said, we've got heavy red news events coming later on today. We don't want to hear any traders rock up on a Monday morning saying they lost their accounts today. Be inspired by the stuff we talked about. Be inspired that we don't do this stuff now. Many times in the past, we've over-leveraged our accounts and we've left ourselves in positions where we were several steps back from where we started. Do not let that day be the day today for you. Thank you all for being here. We will be back on Monday, 8:30. Manage your risks. Stay safe. Thanks a lot. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Give me all of your